Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with the R Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. I am back with another prophetic message that I received this morning. I just want to say, for those of you who are new to my channel, I just want to say welcome. And for those of you who are returning back, I want to say welcome back. Keep in mind that these energies could be happening right now at this present moment. It could have already happened for some of you guys, and it could be happening a couple of days from now, a couple of weeks from now, or even a couple of months from now. Take it how it resonates. It just all depends on your location on the planet. And if it's not happening necessarily to you, it does not necessarily mean, or if it's not happening at this exact moment, does not necessarily mean that the message, the energy could be resonating with somebody else that may be around you, your sister, cousin, brother, mother, co-worker, boss, supervisor, spouse. Take it how it resonates. And not only that, it just depends on, again, your location on the planet, whether the northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, all that plays a factor as well too, when the energies will reach one. And if it's not resonating with you at this specific moment, does not necessarily mean that it may not resonate in the near future. But if you were divinely guided to my channel, obviously there's a message that may be there for you. Or if it's not for you, again, it could be just for someone who's close to you, so that you may understand what they may be experiencing or what they may be going through in their life for whatever reason that God, Source, Spirit has divinely guided you to the message. Anyway, so with all that being said, let's get right into the message. Oh, I just want to say this. For those of you who do not know, I'm a Reiki Master Teacher. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I am also a clairvoyant Hayoka empath who receives divine prophetic dream messages. I also receive intuitive messages as well as intuitive messages through song as well too. So, and for those of you who do not know, I am here doing this shift that we all are going through, that we're all experiencing, as we're shifting from one dimension into another dimension. Every so years, the dimension, not every so year, every 2000 something change, 2,500, something like that years, that we shift into different energies, should I say. For those of you who do not know, we're shifting in from the age of a Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And I am here to help translate messages from the spiritual world into this physical 3D world to help you guys to navigate the energies on your soul mission. Anyway, so with all that being said, let's get right into the message. Oh, I just wanted to say, y'all, I know I've been giving you guys the black screen the last couple of times. It's okay, because I have to realize that not all the time I need to, jump up and get, change, how can I say it? I don't want to say change my clothing, because I don't want to become too relaxed at the same time, but it's okay for me to learn to relax as well too. That's what God is trying to get some of you guys to learn to do, to get out of that hustle and bustle of that mindset of having to be a certain type of way. But it's a matter of balance, keeping a little bit of balance, not coming in front of the camera and my, how can I say it? Coming in front of the camera, let's just say in my, maybe in my thermal pajamas, because I know there was a video that I did do in my robe. It was late at night, and yes, it was, because I needed to get that message out. But anyway, so, just coming in front of the camera, basically looking a hot mess, because then you guys will probably really take me for a joke, in other words. So I say all that to say there may be times that I do need to do that blackout screen, just because I may not feel like changing. So, and I may have other things that's going on to the point that, it's basically, actually, this is basically what this word is that came in this morning. But anyway, let me just get into the message, okay? So you guys can see where I'm coming from. So the message that I received this morning, I'm not going to say who this person is, but God was just bringing it to my attention in regards to, some of the energies that some of you guys need to just kind of be aware of during this time. For those of you, if you have visited my website, I did put a little bio on there in regards to a portion of my experience on my journey or whatever. I didn't put the whole story out there or whatever, because I'm saving that for a very big event. But I say all that to say that, there's a portion of my story that I did put out there, and it talked about how, God had led me on a spiritual journey, and not only a journey, but it felt like a spiritual scavenger hunt. So I say all that to say that you guys are, I'm seeing that some of you guys are in those energies right now that is kind of taking place. So I say all that to say, that I'm seeing that, because that was the message that came through this morning. So, Okay, so let me say this. How can I say it? Okay, God had showed me someone that, let me just say basically, this message is not only for myself, because I actually had to do this last year around about this time, which is so funny because it's coming up again. I'm seeing that energy that comes up like every now and then of things that I may have went through already that other people are experiencing right now. So I say all that to say that some of you guys are going through that energy where God, Source Spirit, is trying to get you guys to release and let go of certain people who have had influence over you, who are sitting up on, let me give you a classic example of people like on YouTube. In other words, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever those social media sites are, whatever they are, to be honest with you, I myself personally wouldn't be on any of these platforms if I wasn't being divinely pushed to, because it was never my cup of tea. It was never my cup of tea to really, I always express myself behind the scenes and not necessarily out in front of other people who I do not know, and so on and so on. So I was being divinely guided to, let's just say hypothetically, some, maybe 3 years ago. I want to say probably like 3 years or 3.5 years ago to, sign up for Instagram, and Facebook was the last thing I wanted to sign up for. My personal opinion. But that was the last thing I wanted to sign up for. And the reason why I say that, because I feel like the energy on Facebook is a totally different energy that is on like Instagram and, some of these other places. So anyway, I'm just mindful of that. But, I do have a platform on Facebook. Not that I wanted to be there, but I feel like God has me there to reach, certain people as well too. But I say all that to say I definitely know that it holds a certain type of energy, because me and my daughter are always talking about this. I'm not going to say, thank you, Spirit. I'm not going to say exactly what type of energy that I feel that it holds, but let me just say one that I don't necessarily feel like it resonates with me. Anyway, so with all that being said, some of you guys are being divinely guided to release some of these people on these social media platforms that you guys are watching. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. And the reason why I say that is because it came through as if it was a particular person that I know I was kind of questioning, because I was saying to myself, actually, this is my real life story right here. A couple of weeks ago, somebody I had been following for probably almost like 3.5 years, off and on. Sometimes their word resonates, sometimes it doesn't resonate. But more so recently, there's been some, it's almost like God was showing me the red flag, and my intuition was just like, okay, it's time for you to unfollow this person in regards to, because this person is also on this journey as well too. But what I do realize is that there are certain people that are on this journey, and everybody is playing their own specific role. In other words, like, just because people are on the same journey as you doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to resonate with your value system and the things that you value and you respect and things that you hold dear to you, is what I'm saying. Because I know this person had said a couple of things that kind of made me raise an eyebrow. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not agreeing with that. I don't agree with that at all. But then there was some things that they was publicly displaying, and there's no judgment, but there were things that they were saying. I was like, oh, wow, you on this platform, you got this platform, but yet that, it's like, you saying one thing, but your mouth, your actions is contradicting another thing. And I say all that to say, I get a classic example. This was a situation of, this is just an example. Again, I'm not going to say who it is, but a classic example. This person is technically still married, should I say. And apparently they have been separated from their spouse for like 5 years. So apparently this person is dating someone else in a sense, but they're dating someone else. But at one point, I think I remember hearing them say that they referred to the person that they're separated from as their ex. Like, an ex means that you filed for divorce, you're officially divorced, you guys have no more ties to each other. That's what I got. So, and then I remember also hearing, prior to hearing the ex part, I heard them saying that they were separated. But I was like, well, wait a minute, you contradicted, because me, when you tell me something, I'm going to remember, things that you say, because I'm holding, it's almost like, it's almost like we should be holding people accountable for the things that they say. So in other words, if somebody isn't doing something that they're advocating on behalf of, then it's like you holding them to their word. Well, wait a minute now, because you said this, you said that, and you're not, practicing what you preach. So I say all that to say, the first time I remember hearing her say she was separated. And then I heard another time, different point in times, and I heard another time that said she was, she referred to her spouse as her ex, meaning like, again, your ex, you're done, you filed for paperwork. And then just recently I heard them say, I was like, well, wait a minute, because I was like, I thought she said she was separated, then it was her ex. I was like, oh, she got a divorce. And then as time went on, it was like God was just steady revealing, because she was talking so much that she was revealing herself, in other words. Then she turned around and said that she's still married, but she's been separated from her spouse for 5 years, and she just recently filed for a divorce, should I say. But I say all that to say that, and need I remind you, she's been dating somebody for the past, I think she said 4 or 5 months. But I say all that to say, not only that, but this person has always been a very big advocate of people who are married and cheating, should I say. So again, it's no judgment, but the point I'm trying to make is, if people aren't living up to your vows, your morals, and things that you expect of yourself, then why the hell are we going to be sitting here listening to other people who not even holding themselves accountable, is the point I'm trying to make. So the message that I received this morning was, God was showing me, it came in the form of this person was, and okay, so the scene was outside. Like, I saw a person riding their bike past them, but then I saw them walking their bike like, just walking their bike like they was enjoying walking their bike. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying walking your bike. I know sometimes when it's time to go up a hill, you want to get off that bike and you want to walk it up, walk that bike up that hill, because it can get a little hard to pedal up the hill. But there was no hill, but nevertheless, I'm just telling you how it was shown to me in a dream. And then it switched scenes, like into this person's home. So into this person's home, in a sense, like, I'm not saying that this is how this person's house look, but what I am saying is I'm going off what God has shown me and what I need to focus on. So God had shown me that it was like inside this person's house, like inside this person's house. Let me say, let's just say, like on YouTube, like for instance, you can see a little bit of my background. And let's just say if I was to take the camera and point it this way, maybe my house could be in a mess. Excuse me, my house could be in a mess, but it's not. For anybody who knows me, personally, they know at least my family. Let me just say that. People know that I am clean to the T, and I say all that to say, when I clean, I'm cleaning from top to bottom. We cleaning everything, and not only that is just like, because I feel like next to cleanliness is godliness, So for me, I only invite high vibrational energies in my home, and I mean spiritually and even physically too. So I say all that to say, like, if my home is going to be a mess, well, guess what? That's the type of energy that I'm going to attract to my home. So in other words, if my home is junky, a mess, and things are all out of place, that's the type of energy that I'm going to attract to myself, in other words. So in other words, if, because we all operate at different frequencies is what I'm trying to say. So I say all that to say, depending on what type of frequency that you're carrying, that's the energy that you're going to attract to you. If you're somebody who gossip and talks about other people, well, guess what? You're going to attract people to you who are probably gossiping and talking about you behind your back. If you are somebody who always telling somebody else's business, well, guess what? That's the energy you're going to attract to yourself. You're going to attract people who are going to be telling you're going to be telling your business to them. Now they're going to be going and telling your business to the world. So I say all that to say, we attract what we are. in other words. But anyway, so in a dream, when it switched scenes from outside to inside the home, I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh my God, like, I don't see all of this when you're on camera, and, rightfully so, but I was thinking, it's like God was just showing me, and this is not directed necessarily at this particular person, but God was just basically showing me, like, just to get the message out there that some of you guys, he's just using this person as example, because I didn't necessarily agree with the message, that they were, conveying, should I say. And the point I'm trying to make is, when it switched inside the home and I saw her home, in one room in her home, I was like, oh my God, it's a mess in here. And I was like, but I don't see that on the camera, in other words. So, and then I walked into, and then I remember, as I saw one room, I didn't say it out loud, but I said it to myself in a dream as I was talking to her, and walked into one of her rooms. And I was like, oh, it's a mess in here. It's junky. Anyway, so, and then when I saw her in the dream, I was like, because I remember this, like, in real life, I remember this person saying they were like about 5'4". That's the same height I am, or whatever the case may be. Well, anyway, so in the dream, this person appeared to be way smaller than what they had appeared, or what they had, mentioned, let's just say, in their conversations on one of their videos. So I was just getting the impression that nothing was true on the face value of, about this person's life. So I say all that to say, that God has you guys in a position to where he's trying to get you to release certain people that you are watching, certain platforms that you're watching. And even if you're not someone who's watching a platform, what I'm hearing Spirit saying, even if you kind of have your own platform as well too, and you're not living up to, let's just say, if you're not living up to, I don't know if I want to say necessarily, thank you, Spirit, if you're not living up to a higher standard, should I say, it's almost like, because what it is, thank you, Spirit, because what it is God is trying to get you guys, and granted, God could very well just have this person to, these people to just kind of walk away, should I say, and have them to shut down their platforms or whatever the case may be. For those people who aren't living, let's just say, righteously or whatever the case may be. But God is putting you through a test, because he wants you to be able to learn to walk away from certain situations. And I say all that to say that, well, before I get in that, yeah, thank you, Spirit. Because God is trying to get you to get more in tune with your intuition. In other words, like your intuition, your gut feeling. What do you feel when you hear a person say things that you don't necessarily agree with? Are you going to continue to watch them? It's almost like when you sit up here and you listen to the politicians talk about all the things that they're going to do, and so on and so on, and year after year, or every 4 years, I've learned to just unplug from it all, period. In other words, in regards to the, what's going on. But I say all that to say, every 4 years, it's always like people always saying they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And, we're sitting there saying what they're going to do. But it's like, once they get in office, it's almost like nobody is really holding them accountable. Well, wait a minute. You said you was going to do this, and that, so it's like nobody, or as a society, we're not holding them accountable, because tell you the truth, as they say, they supposed to work for us, not us working for them, should I say. But anyway, with all that being said, God is trying to hold, God wants you to get to a position where you need to learn to walk away from certain situations, and I know some of you probably saying, well, okay, well, God is going to shut that down. God may shut it down. God may not shut it down. God may leave that platform there for the next person to learn whatever the lesson it is that you're trying to learn at this point in time. We're just learning to walk away from certain situations. And I say all that to say, oh, okay. And I say all that to say, hold on before I get into that. Okay. And I know this was something that came to mind too, and I had to write this down too when that dream came to me. So something that appeared in my mind, in my excuse me, spirit was reminding me. It was like a thought had popped into my head, and spirit was reminding me of a conversation like back during the time that me and my mom was, had this daycare center. Where I remember there was a particular parent that seemed like she would come in there almost like every day with a different outfit on. And there's nothing wrong with that, to a certain extent. But then I'm thinking to myself, like, well, wait a minute, like, you're, how can I say it? Nevertheless, the point I'm trying to make is somebody had said to me once, they said that just because a person is changing or just because that person has a new outfit every day does not necessarily make them a clean person. Does not necessarily make them a clean person. And I think I want to say, I think my mom had said that because I had mentioned about a person like this particular parent, she wore a different outfit every day, and I never saw her recycle, like, let's just say if you see me wearing this red shirt now and you may never see me wear this red shirt again, ever, it's like always something new, should I say. But anyway, I remember my mom telling me, she said that, yeah, just because somebody is wearing something new don't necessarily mean that they're a clean person or whatever, because sometimes they buy new clothes because, what did she say? Sometimes they buy new clothes to cover up the dirt or something like that. But metaphorically speaking, I don't even think she was really paying attention to what she was saying, because the truth of the matter is sometimes people do wear and change their clothes. Wear new clothing, but not necessarily may live up to cleanliness, should I say. Cleanliness. Anyway, so I say all that to say, yeah, thank you, Spirit. Cleanliness and hygienic wise. So I say all that to say, we don't know what we're getting, each and every time that we're watching somebody on YouTube, including myself. You can put myself in there as well too. But I'm not speaking on nobody else's behalf. I'm only speaking on my behalf. But I'm gonna tell you, like I told my family, like I've told my spouse or whatever the case may be, and like I've told other people, I am 100% the realest bitch. And I mean that in an endearing way. The realest bitch that you will ever meet. And I say all that to say, because I say what it is. I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm not hiding it. And what you see on camera is what you see off of camera. So in other words, there may be something very mystical about me when other people out here may see me or whatever the case may be. I say all that to say that a lot of my neighbors, I basically pulled back and kind of stopped talking to them because, not that I think that I'm better than them, but it's just like the energy, that was once there, I no longer resonate with that. And I say all that to say, sometimes it was gossip about the other neighbors, or one neighbor was just always up in other people's business trying to see what's going on anytime something happens, just something small, just always up in people's business. I was like, and it's almost like, don't you get tired of that? But anyway, not saying that, it always kind of got on my nerves. So I say all that to say, I just learned to distance myself away from that and from people who aren't authentic. Let me say that. And you guys know the ordeal with the neighbor to the left of me or whatever the case may be. I said what needed to be said, not because I was just being mean or because I was being, racist in any sort of way. It's just that when somebody, it's just like almost like when somebody violates your space, you speak up for yourself. You don't just sit there and accept what it is that they're doing, because then that makes you, what that's saying to them is, oh, I can walk all over them. I can take advantage of them. Oh, they're not going to say anything. I can go back and do this again, and you don't know what form or shape or what way they may come back later on, and even come back with a more vengeance of even trying to hurt, harm, or injure, whether it be spiritually or physically, thank you, Spirit, whether it be in those senses of crossing boundaries, should I say. Because the one thing I would never do, as an example, is roll up on somebody else's child like that. And if I roll up on somebody else's child like that, it's either because somebody has done something to my child, but nevertheless, I'm going to remember that this child is somebody else's child too. And I wouldn't want somebody to roll up on my child like that. So I'm going to be looking for that child's parent. But other than that, my child was just outside minding his business, not to rehash anything. But, I'm just saying, if you learn to just, I told somebody this years ago, if you don't learn to stand for something, you will fall for anything. And that is a true statement. If you don't learn to fall, if you don't learn to stand for something, you will fall for anything. You will fall for when somebody give you the okie doke. Yeah, you my best friend. No, good time where they talk about your ass behind your back, and blah blah this and blah blah. Yeah, did you see the shoes he had on? Yeah, did you see that? You see that weight he got on him, or you see that weight she got on her, or whatever the case may be, or did you, whatever the case may be, just things like that. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't got time for all that. I don't have time for fakeness. I don't have time for phoniness. But anyway, let me finish this. Yeah, because when you allow these things to happen, it's like you're settling for less. You're settling for less. Now, either God has told you guys to unplug from social media, and if he hasn't just yet, he's about to. And I say all that to say because, again, if some of you guys have been just questioning certain people, just for the near thought that you have to question somebody, then maybe it's time to unplug. And I say all that to say, whether it be even myself, should I say, but yeah, but I say all that to say it's so funny because going back to the person who I was watching, it's funny because as I was sitting there saying, I was like, oh, you wrong for that. You wrong for that. You wrong for that. You sitting here telling people, that you don't care for people who cheat, who are married and so on and so on. But then yet you still married, but you're dating somebody else. I was like, you wrong for that. And I kept saying, like, you need to file for a divorce. You should be filing for a divorce. And I say all that to say, because again, they was advocating on behalf of people who were married and feel like they was being cheated on, but they wasn't living up to their own personal standard. But anyway, I say all that to say that they did filing for a divorce or whatever the case may be. At least that's what they said. But nevertheless, just like even that, because I was even kind of questioning the person. But again, they was on this journey too. So don't get it confused, because the point I'm trying to make is God. Because one thing about this journey, this is the scavenger hunt part right here. One thing about this journey is you're going to think that people are going to seem like they are on the same path as you. And they may be very well on the same path as you. But remember, everybody is learning different soul lessons. And I say all that to say because, again, this person... Okay, nevertheless, thank you, Spirit. What Spirit wants you to focus on is basically the lesson that is at hand is... when you are in doubt of someone, God wants you to basically unplug, unsubscribe, whoever it is that you're watching. And I say all that to say that because it's almost like with you, thank you, Spirit, with you watching this person, knowing that you have your value system in place, and it's like you're not honoring yourself, as I said before, your morals and values and your integrity, when you're watching somebody else who is also kind of like degrading themselves in a sense, if that makes sense. So I say all that to say that you have to learn God is trying to get you to the point to learn how to separate yourself from people who do not resonate with your value standards and morals that you have for yourself. So in other words, if let's just say hypothetically, like if you're someone who have morals and value, like, you're looking for a woman or you're looking for a man who's respectable, who seems like they're honorable and they're covering themselves up and they're not showing too much, but then yet you sitting here watching somebody on a platform who has their, boobs all out and, showing a lot of cleavage and showing a lot of, butt or, whatever you want to call it. But nevertheless, that's going against your morals and your values and the, your integrity system that you're setting in place for yourself. So if you're not honoring yourself, then, how do you expect God to honor you in a sense is what I'm trying to say. So the point I'm trying to make is because I remember last year around about the same time, I clearly remember unsubscribing from some people who had been on this journey that I had been on. Now, I may not have been watching them for like the whole 3 or 4 years, but there have been incidents, and I have a list right here, y'all, that I told myself that I was gonna do, and I need to do it, that just kind of give you the things that I had to experience on my spiritual journey. And when I get a minute, if I find time, I will try to do that. But I say all that to say, I'm gonna give you a quick classic example. Like, there have been some people on this journey, and I'm thinking to myself, yes, they're spiritual. And I'm thinking to myself, yes, like-minded people. But no, God was like, okay, I'm gonna take you on this little journey. So just because you enter the spiritual side of getting to becoming more spiritual, should I say, there are even spiritual people that you have to watch out for. And I say all that to say because, people may appear to be spiritual, but they're not necessarily using their spirituality for good, in other words. So I say all that to say I clearly remember there was there was three in particular that showed up. Actually, no, four in particular that I ascribed from last year. And I say all that to say because God revealed the truth to me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because quickly, one, this person was really talking all of this stuff behind the scenes, but God showed me spiritually how they were. Like, it's almost like we was in a situation spiritually to where I was the one doing all the spiritual work, meaning defending us because it was like under attack. And as we were being under attack, it's almost like we were fighting these darker forces, alien type things. And it's almost like this person talks so much and was very knowledgeable about just the things and this is the other thing too. Some people may be knowledgeable about some stuff, but that doesn't matter. You need to ask yourself, okay, again, going back to that moral and your value system, which one is more important? Valuing what they're saying, even though some of the stuff that they're saying has some, it is correct, should I say, but at the same time, it's like, will you compromise yourself? Because the way God showed this to me is like, God was showing me this person spiritually behind the scenes, because it's like we were fighting, we was under attack, we was under spiritual attack. And it's like I had picked up like a kind of like a weapon in a dream to kind of shoot at this darker energy, like a alien type energy, should I say. And it's almost, and this is a lot of what this person talks about kind of like on their channel, not all the information, but some of it. But I say all that to say, it's like we were under attack, and it's like, and I realized that I could not use the weapon, like the material weapons that we use like for wars and stuff. I realized I could not use that weapon on that type of energy, that I had to pick up and use my intentions to to dissipate this energy, to get rid of it, by setting the intentions of releasing it. And that's how I was able to release it. Well, I say all that to say, but again, we was under spiritual attack, but the other person got into her bed and she went to sleep. I'm like, what the hell? So I was left sitting there spiritually to fight that battle, should I say. But I say all that to say that was one incident. And I say all that to say, but God was just allowing me to see people's true intentions. So if God shows you somebody for who they are, believe it. And I say all that to say, because I know at that point in time, it was like God was just showing me, okay, you're going to believe them or you're going to believe what I'm showing you. So I had to unplug, unsubscribe, and believe exactly what it was that God was showing me. And the moment that I unsubscribed from those channels, I was able to kind of soar in my own personal energy. So it's almost like, because I was subscribed to those people's channel, and it's almost like I was really valuing the information that they was giving me, it's almost like it was holding me back at the same time. But not only that, but, again, they wasn't standing in their morals, values, and, and honoring, thank you, Spirit, and honoring themselves. Because I clearly remember this person saying several times on their channel, talking about, oh, you got a problem with me? I'm about that life. you got the wrong one. But I was like, well, wait a minute, you know, whatever happened to, and again, that was just God just exposing them and allowing me to see their true intentions behind the scenes. So I unsubscribed. And then there was 3 other incidents of people that I really valued their information, because the information was true. Some of the information was a little over my head, but you know, the information was true, should I say. But at the same time, these other 3 people, what I had noticed with them is spiritually, they was violating boundaries, should I say, people's free will. You know, in other words, like I say, the information that I receive, you know, I don't go searching for any information about anybody. God just shows me, like, for instance, what he wants me to speak on, and that's what I do. I don't go tapping into somebody else's energy. So let's just say, hypothetically, if it was somebody here on my channel, it's not like I'm sitting here and intentionally, you know, if God showed me something about somebody on my channel, you know, it's not like I'm going looking for that information. I'll allow it to come to me instead. So because I don't want anybody violating my free will and crossing boundaries with me, and nor do I and nor am I going to allow somebody else to do that to me. So I say all that to say that the other 3 people, they was violating my space spiritually, should I say. They was crossing boundaries, but yet again, these supposed to be people who are, these supposed to be people who are, you know, spiritually in tune. And I'm not saying that they're not spiritually in tune, but again, it's just a matter of, you know, it's a matter of, because the funny thing about that is, thank you, Spirit just brought to my attention to something that happened. So the moment that I had kind of questioned of I'm subscribing from these people's channel, that's when I realized that it's almost like they were, it's almost like, let me just say, it's almost like the enemy let them know that I was about to subscribe from their channel. And when I unsubscribed from their channel, it's like all of a sudden, that's when they showed up in my dreams. Like, in other words, trying to taunt me a little bit, in a sense, like, well, where do you think you going, in a sense, like, you know, and even to the point that I had something that kind of caught an attitude with me in a dream. I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, you know, somebody would understand. Even if somebody had to walk away from my channel and realize that, okay, you know, that they outgrown my energy and, you know, they need something, you know, more meat or heavy or whatever the case may be, you know, I can't get upset about that. It is what it is. Just like myself, at some point in time, something doesn't no longer resonates. You know, we all have to evolve. We all have to grow. So I don't expect anybody to stay exactly where they're at, you know, but I say all that to say that, yeah, so I had to subscribe from these people's channel, and I had to, block their information from even coming across my timeline. And I made the conscious choice of releasing my energy from their energy field, you know, because, and it wasn't until I did that is when I was able to soar higher, should I say. So if you are watching somebody who you really value the information that they give you, and I say that to say, because I really feel like these are people who has these really large platforms, is what I'm hearing Spirit say. You know, people who have these really large platforms, who appear to have, thank you, Spirit, who appears to have everything, that seem like they have everything together, everything. Where it seems like everything is together, whether they may be on point with their clothes, whether they may be on point with, I don't know, their makeup is what I'm hearing. Maybe they may be on point with maybe the type of job that they talk about that they have. Maybe they may seem like they're on point with, you know, maybe having so many subscribers and so many followers, or maybe they may be on point, not necessarily saying that they're on point, but I'm just saying what we would have thought was on point, because society has told us that it's on point, is what I'm trying to say. You know, they might be talking about the groups of friends, or a lot of friends that they may have, and, you know, and all that type of stuff. So I'm here to tell you that, as I said, you know, God wants you to know that things is not appearing. Thank you. I'm hearing illusions. People create illusions to make you think that they have it going on. So remember that. But anyway, I believe Yeah, so anything that seemed like is too perfect in place and everything is, everything seemed like this person is living this perfect life. I'm here to tell you, they're illusions that's being created. So be mindful of that. Um, that's all I can say. That's all I can say. Yeah, so because remember what I said in the dream, I said that when I saw this lady, I was like, oh, you are way shorter than what you said you were in the dream. So in other words, that right there was an illusion. So it was like she was saying she was 5'4", but she was really like 3 inches and some change in a dream or whatever. So, that right there alone wasn't truth. And, so I say all that to say again, these are the what I'm hearing spirit say, these are people who are like really in their egos when you hear them speaking or whatever. So be mindful of that. Yeah, be mindful of that. Anyway, y'all, that is all the message that I have for y'all. I will try to do this video. I know I've been trying to do it for a minute, but I'm trying to read and study too, and be mommy, be daddy, be, uncle, sister, cousin, brother, whoever, I'm trying to be it all. I'm trying to do it all. So anyway, and a shout out to all the moms who are doing it all. But anyway, so I say all that to say, y'all stay blessed, stay prayed up, and just remember that everything that seems like it's perfect and all in order is nothing but an illusion. So I want to end on that note. It's time to look beyond the veils. Yeah, it's time to look beyond the veils. Like, just because people on these platforms doesn't necessarily mean that they are living their life to the expectations that they're bringing to, you guys. So keep that in mind as well too. Oh, thank you, Spirit. I remember there was this movie called Non-Perfect Strangers. I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but you guys should watch it. And that's like a classic example. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit just brought that to my attention. It's called Non-Perfect Strangers. It has what's her name? It has Melissa McCarthy in it, and it has old girl from, oh God, what is her name? Why am I drawing a blank with her name? Old girl from Scary Movie. Cindy, there's a white girl coming out your TV. Forgot her name. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about if you've seen that movie. So she's in there too. But anyway, so I say all that to say, it was like this lady was, you should watch that movie, because this is basically what God is trying to tell you in so many words. It's probably like 5 or 6 little episodes, little mini episodes based off a book. But this is a classic example of kind of like what I'm talking about right here. So it's like this lady, she runs this spiritual retreat. As a matter of fact, what is her name? The white lady who owns the spiritual retreat. Shit, what is her name? Oh God. I forgot her name. I think she was was that Tom Cruise ex-wife? I can't remember her name. Anyway, if Non-Perfect Strangers, look it up. So on Netflix. But she runs a spiritual retreat. So these people come there, and she's basically using them as guinea pigs, in other words. So it got to a point, she got them to get a little comfortable, get them to get a little relaxed, in other words, and then she starts slipping stuff into their drinks. And then she tells them after she slips it into their drinks, in other words. So I say all that to say, and then even when she slipped it into their drinks, they didn't like the way that they was feeling. They started having these physical symptoms and these emotional symptoms that started coming from, when they start saying, what the hell you put in our drinks? So even though she let them know, excuse me, what she was putting in their drinks, even in the end, some of them started to question their own reality, because it was like, oh, well, did it really hurt us? It's just bringing up issues that, we may have or whatever, that's hidden deep beneath the surface. But the point I'm trying to make is she kept doing and doing it. She kept trying to push boundaries. Some of them asked to stop giving them certain things, and then she kept giving it to them anyway. And I say all that to say that, again, she was supposed to have this spiritual retreat. They was coming there for help for her, coming there to get help from her, but she was pushing her boundaries, using them as test dummies and so on and so on. But I say all that to say, in the end, it's like, she started telling them, because even though she said, yes, I did put something in your drink. And then it was like, well, what the hell? At least next time, let us know. So then she started letting them know. But even after the fact that she let them know, it's almost like they decided that, okay, this is not some of that stuff concocted in his drink, is it? But then it's almost like, okay, because last time it had me doing this and doing that. But then she started adding more to their drinks and so on. And then she started telling them, yes, I'm putting it in your drink. So it's almost like at that point in time, she had got them accustomed to violating their boundaries, that she kept pushing more boundaries. And I was like, oh, hell no, I would have been gone. She took their cars, she isolated and locked some of them up. And I'm like, what the hell? But anyway, I was like, that right there is what God is trying to get you to see. Learn to stand up for your own morals, your own values, your own, have standards for yourself, and don't compromise that for no one, even for the sake of just listening to what somebody else have to say. If any point, if somebody is, not, if you feel like they're not being truthful, or you hear them saying something outside of something that they have already said that's contradicting what they're saying, then that should be your cue right there, your red flag to exit stage left. Because again, people will push boundaries and to test you. And if people are doing that, what would you do if the government just decided that they wanted to do that as well too? You see where I'm going with this? You'll start settling for less. You'll start accepting this. You'll start accepting that. And then, next thing you know, you compromise your whole system. Or yourself. So anyway, y'all, with all that being said, I wish y'all much love, much light, and I say peace and blessings. I hope this information was helpful. And I ask you guys to stay, remember to stay vigilant, stay blessed, and to remember always keep God first. Anyway, so I will talk to you guys later. Until the next prophetic message, I say bye.